Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, My Girlfriend Wants to Share Our Incomes. The thing is, I make roughly 7 times as much. Please advise. Guys, this is a story about a guy. He is 25 years old and his girlfriend's 22. He's been out of college for a couple years. He got himself a really good job where he's making damn good money for his age at 25. Meanwhile, his girlfriend, a few years younger, she's 22, still in college, working part-time, and she doesn't make very much at all. He allowed her to move in with her, and he's taking care of all the expenses. And at some point, she demands, not ask, demands that they put all their money, the paychecks, into a joint account and split the money evenly. Crazy. You gotta be kidding me. But that's the scenario this guy is in right now. And of course, it's turned to a big giant fight, and this guy is seeking counsel on this. So I'm going to go over this story here, guys, and this is going to be another example of some bullshit that you young guys may encounter later on down the road if you make the choice of A, having your girlfriend move in with you, and B, an issue about the money. If you're making a lot more money than her, or if you're out of school and you're making some money and she isn't, just things like this. So I want you to hear this story so you can avoid these potential problems and not make mistakes down the road. Because this guy, you're going to see what happens here. So starts off. So here's the deal. Me and my girlfriend have been together for a little under 3 years. And have been living together for a few months. My girlfriend takes college classes and works part-time. I finished college 2 years ago, quickly got hired by the company I did my internship at, and within 1 year, I got a promotion and a large pay raise. And I'm now making roughly $150,000 a year, while she makes $20,000 a year. That's awesome. A guy 25 years old, out of college for 2 years, in how things are right now, and he's making $150K a year. I mean, my hat is off to this guy. Great job. Now, I don't know how much college loans he has and things like that, or if he's living in New York City or Boston or a major city, but the point is this, the guy's doing great for himself at such an early age. Awesome. He says, continues, now she moved in with me a few months ago to the place I bought, so I pay nearly all costs, mortgage, electric, water, etc. The only thing she pays for herself are non-essentials like Spotify, the phone bill, Netflix, and so forth. Now recently we got into a huge fight where she demanded, notice demanded, we pool our money together and spend what is left after essential costs together, whereas currently I pay basically every essential and my own shit. Use a bit to enjoy myself and put the rest into my own savings. So let's review. This guy has his shit together. He's making great money for his age. He's worked hard for it. And he bought a place, which is a very smart thing to do. And you guys are young and you're in that situation and you know you're going to be in a place for a while. I recommend you buy your own place, house or condo, whatever works for you. He did that. And he allowed her to come move in and she doesn't have to pay for a damn thing. So she gets a free place to live, the electric, the internet, water, heat, all that, air conditioning. He doesn't mention food, but obviously, probably, I'm going to hope she helps out with the food, but probably not. She's living there for free. So all her money she makes, which isn't much, she gets to spend on bullshit. Okay, as a lot of women do spend a lot of money on bullshit. Now, I'm not saying all, because I know a lot of women that are actually pretty good with money, and I've known a lot of guys that are bad with money, but by and large, men are better with money in terms of saving and being practical, and a lot of women are stupid with money. And she has the nerve to get into a fight with this guy and demand that they split the money? You gotta be shitting me. I mean, come on here. But again, let's ask what's going on behind the scenes. Has this guy been too accommodating to her over the years? Has this guy been the nice guy that she then feels that she can actually have the nerve to do that? I mean, if she saw him as 100% alpha, believe me, she wouldn't be pulling this bullshit. Unless, of course, she's one of these girls that like fights and wants him to put her in her place and all that. And that's a whole other conversation. But seriously, I mean, who does she think she is? Does she think she's the most beautiful woman in the world? Is she Helen of Troy? Is she like the most beautiful face, beautiful body, fucks like a porn star? I mean, seriously, who the hell does she think she is? Had to get that out. When I read this, I couldn't believe it. It goes on. Now she seems to be jealous. I got a lot more to spend, which is not really true since after monthly costs, I put the majority in my savings account. Very smart. This guy's being practical here. But she wants to blow it away on bullshit. In my eyes, she already gets an easy ride, and honestly, she is just shit with the money she does have. She spends it on crap like stupidly expensive clothes and then complains she is broke at the end of the month. See what I'm talking about? And believe me, if this guy was weak enough to put it all into a joint account that she'd have access to, she'd be blowing his money on more bullshit. And she could literally, he puts her name on that account, she could take that money and walk because it's her name's on the account. That's what the bank would say. And or also in a situation, some guys would get a credit card and put the girlfriend's name on it. Crazy. Don't do that. The only time there should be a joint account is if you guys are married. I'm not recommending you get married. I tell you to not do that all the time. But if you're already married and you have a joint account specifically for the bills you split, okay, like the electric bill and the water bill and the trash and the mortgage and things like that. That's it. But the guy has his own account. The girl has her own account. His paycheck goes into his. Her paycheck goes into hers. And after their contributions to the joint account, the rest is his. The rest is hers. None of this. He makes a ton of money to put in the account, and she puts her little money in there, and she can do whatever she wants. No. Okay? He says, so what do? I hate to put money in the way of our relationship, but if I'm honest, I'm questioning my relationship as there is no way I'm going to let her essentially spend my salary on stupid shit. Well, he is not putting money before the relationship. She is. She's the one that's causing all this bullshit. This guy's doing everything right. Okay, let me rephrase that. He's not doing everything right because he allowed her to move in, and he allowed her to move in without having to pay a dime. Okay? I admire this guy for all the things he's accomplished, but allowing her to move in, and I've been abundantly clear about don't move in with your girlfriend for lots of reasons. I don't need to reiterate those reasons. Go watch the other videos. But the fact that he allowed her to move in and not pay for anything. At the very least, he had to give her a bill at the end of the month for some things, okay? And this would be on the basis if she was a very good girlfriend, very loyal and loving and supportive and all that. Not this bullshit. He goes on. So there are many comments I'm having a hard time keeping up with. If I don't respond, knowing that I'm trying to at least read your comment. But currently, this is a respond to his story on Reddit. But currently, when I read and respond to one comment, I get 10 more. Ha ha. I just want to thank everyone for their responses, from the ones who yell gold digger, ding ding ding, to the ones who take the middle ground approach. Even those who yell about MGTOW or something, and those who are in the opinion I need to give her all my money because of a pink tax or something. All advice is appreciated and gives me extra light to view this in. I had not expected my post to blow up like this. Ha ha ha. Well, this guy was coming to me seeking my advice. I would tell him to end it because, again, the disrespect here. Not showing the appreciation to him that he's allowing her to live there rent-free and not paying any expenses. Talk about a gift to being able to do that. This guy thinks he's doing this because he obviously cares about her and he's been with her for a while. And this is the thanks he gets? No way. And the fact that she pisses money away on bullshit. Now imagine what would happen if this guy were to get more serious with her. Imagine they didn't have this fight. Imagine that she played it cool and went along with a freeloading off of his lifestyle and his work, and they got married. Then the true colors would come out and she'd be pissing away his money left and right. So in a way, it's actually good this happened because this guy can see her true character before anything serious happens, okay? But I would tell him to end it with her because this is the type of crap he's going to deal with. And not to mention, they are night and day different in terms of valuing money. He's obviously about doing practical things, hence he at 25 years old has his own condo or house, and he's putting money away into savings. That's smart. But she's young, 22 years old, and it probably wouldn't matter if she was 25. She's probably going to likely be immature as well. And she's got no reason to be disciplined with money because, hey, she gets everything for free. And I'm willing to bet you she's good looking, so she can obviously get away with it and find some other chump that's going to pay for her ass. So I tell him to end it with her and move the hell on and be extremely careful in the future, as this guy obviously is doing well for himself and has money, to the type of women he gets involved with that he isn't taken advantage of again. And I would tell him, don't move in with your girlfriend next time. And sure as if you do, and you don't listen to me and move in with her, but if you do, and she's living there, you send her a bill. You give her an invoice at the end of every month for part of the expenses. It's more than reasonable. So we now have an update as to what he decided to do in this situation and how he handled it. He continues, so I figured since the post sort of blew up 3 weeks ago and people requested me to do an update to tell them what I ended up doing. Well, here goes. Well, in the shortest way possible, I ended up breaking up with her. I realized in part, thanks to some good advice I'd gotten, there was more that was bothering me other than financial. The thing is, when thinking to myself in the next few days, I felt myself combing over every little detail of our relationship and quickly realized I was putting in way more than what I was getting back. Exactly. No, I'm not saying I'm some perfect saint, but I do think I deserve someone who appreciates what I already do, especially when what I already do so vastly outweighs what she did in our relationship. I guarantee you this guy, they were in college and all that, she was probably hot, great body, getting all the loving, and all she had to do was just basically be on his arm and hook up with him. And basically she could get what she wants, okay? And keep in mind, guys, she's 22 years old in her prime. So it's not hard for her, she's good looking, to get guys and get what she wants. And this guy obviously saw her as a prize, put her on a pedestal. That's why he would never even think about having her pay for part of the bills in the house, and where she got the gall to start a fight with him, demanding that she gets, access to his money. And she was just his girlfriend, not his wife, not even a fiance, just a girlfriend of under 3 years. So, obviously he was putting way more into her. But now he's realizing, hey, I'm now 25, I'm making good money, I got my own place, I'm a catch. And this is what I tell you guys. For you guys that are younger, in your teens and 20s, and you're feeling like you're the short end of the stick, the low man on the totem pole when it comes to women, if that's what you want, in terms of you want to have women to date and hook up with and all that, trust me, when you start getting your shit together and you start making money and you got your own place and you're taking care of yourself and you are on the rise, a man on the rise, guess what? You're going to start to have options, and you will have to tolerate this type of bullshit like in this story. And you got a woman that tries to gold dig you, boom, she's out of there. Next, on to the next one, because they're going to be after you. And as you get older and closer to 30s and 40s, when they're guys prime, it is going to be a buffet for you in terms of women if you understand these things and have self-respect and know what you're doing. And guys, I know a lot of you guys like to hear just the story. You want me to shut the hell up and not talk to the end. But I use the stories and read this to provide advice and coaching along the way. It's the most practical way, and it's my style. Some people bitch about it in the comment section. He goes on. Also, a big one was the apparent maturity gap between the two of us, which I looked over with my rose-tinted in-love glasses. Hear that? Whereas I've changed as a person from who I was when we started dating. She is still pretty much the same identical person, and without trying to badmouth her, this is a person you can be without any issues when you're between 15 and 20. Not when you are in a committed relationship, thinking about having kids at some point, managing your own finances, and planning for the future. And that brings to me the largest issue here, planning. I am a planner. I look out for the future. I'm not opposed to wasting some money to do fun stuff while I'm young. But I don't want to risk ending up broke and unhappy when I'm older because I refuse to get serious in my youth, and this is where our personal views seem to clash to an extent where the good no longer outweighs the bad. She constantly lives in the moment, spends what she can spend, and is sort of used to an easy ride where the biggest things she ever had to worry about were her grades. But for me, I have faced financial issues since I was young, so I know the value of money, and I know that planning can spare you a lot of hurt. They're night and day different. He's a planner, he's a saver, he's smart, he didn't have a lot of money when he was younger, so he's being very smart about this. And exceptionally mature for his age, which is awesome. What this guy's doing, guys, except for the letting her move in part and letting her take advantage of him initially, That's what I want you young guys doing. This is exactly what I want you guys to do with yourselves. And if you haven't already, get on that process of doing this. This is awesome. He goes on. He says, I'm not saying either our views are superior or better. I am saying when you are supposed to be in a partnership, but you widely differ on most basic foundations of that partnership, there is not much hope. And as a result, I realized I did not see myself getting more committed to her, which means you sort of hit a roadblock in your relationship. I mean, I'm not a fan of marriage from the get-go. Very smart. But after such a long time, if you're not even remotely considering it, there is probably a larger issue. You know, more and more I wonder if this guy watches these shows on YouTube or he's learning about this material, because this guy is really advanced for his age. Now he's already saying about marriage. You know, he's not really gung-ho about marriage. Good for him. He's going to save himself a lot of trouble. Obviously, he's young and he messed up by letting her move in and letting her not having to pay part of the bills. But, you know, he's young, so he's allowed to make mistakes. But you can see here, guys, this guy's on the right path. And I'm glad he's having this realization. This argument about finances brought up a whole load of other issues for me, and honestly, I sort of started to dread what in my mind looked like being expected to fund a lifestyle I, from the ground up, do not agree with. I realized I was losing my own self-worth by accepting this sort of stuff, and I realized the fact that we had an argument about my money and her demanding to spend half of it, which made me feel like a glorified ATM. Now the breakup was really messy, and her dad was a rock during the entire thing. He calmed the situation down a lot, despite him really hating what was going on, but I think he understood. I can't say I'm not gutted about all this. After all, this is someone I was with for roughly 3 years, and getting used to not having her or her family, who I was really close to, is difficult. But in the end, after the initial dust settled, I sort of feel liberated and a lot happier than I did just a few weeks ago. You can't be with somebody for a number of years and all that and just, you know, light switch and not feel anything. I mean, you can make decisions, but in terms of like shutting the feelings off, that's not exactly easy. Okay, if we're being honest here, I know, I got a lot of hard asses that follow me here, but if you're being honest here, you're not going to just lose it overnight. It'll take some time, regardless of the shit that she may have done. He says, I wish her nothing but the best in the future, and I know it has to be without me. As for me, I sort of feel like I got to start to get over her, hopefully find someone a lot more suited for me in the future. But I won't be actively looking for me as honestly being single after such a long time in a relationship feels nice. Nothing wrong with being single. This is a guy in his mid-20s who's making great money. And when he heals and gets over with her, this guy, I'm hoping, will continue to focus on his purpose and improve himself more so that he eventually in time can get a better job within his company. That instead of making $150K, he's making $200K and then $250K and maybe a senior position. Or he's so good at what he does, he gets hired by another company making more and stock options and shit like that. That's the type of way to go for it. And if he meets some great women along the way, he has a good time with them, but his purpose is his number one priority, not the pussy. I get to focus what little free time I have on myself, which is something I have not been able to do for a long time. I get to indulge in my hobbies properly and so forth. Translation, he was living with her, and she wanted all the attention on her, and probably he stepped away from his hobbies, stepped away from his friends. This is what I tell you about what happens. You move in with your girl, guys. Be aware of this, amongst other shit. Anyhow, I want to thank everyone for their advice. And if I was rude to anyone, I'm sorry. But at the time, I was in a shitty emotional position. But I am doing a lot better now. So whether you figured I was a douche and completely disagree with me, or whether you think I was a good fella and figured I was right, or somewhere in the extremes or in the middle, thanks for your advice. Well, that was a great story, and it's a great ending. Good for this guy. Eventually, he did some soul searching and came to the realization, aside from her being kind of a selfish asshole, they got nothing in common. This guy's going places. He wants to prepare for a future and save and do all those things. Obviously, he's down for having fun, but within reason. Okay? And this chick is just milking him for everything he's worth. And God knows what would have happened if he was foolish enough to agree to her demands, okay? Because there's some guys that would. You know, there's guys that were dorks when they were younger, and they're finally getting some good-looking girl after them, and they would obey and go along with this, and you would see what would happen. It'd be very, very bad. And thank God this guy didn't get engaged or married to her, even worse. And I'm assuming they're living in a place, obviously, it was a couple months, he said, living with her. There was no cohabitation or common law bullshit going on, but you never know. Some countries are, you literally a few months living with your girlfriend and there's issues there. So, but anyhow, guys, it was a great story to hear. I'm glad he got rid of her and he now has a chance to continue on with his purpose and make himself even better. And that's what I want all you guys doing. You can do it. Even if you can't do much right now, just little baby steps every day to reach your full potential. That's what I want for you. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.